and Jubal's second date update.
You guys ever been on one of those dates that just kind of snowballs? Like, you go out for lunch or something, and then all of a sudden you're having dinner and drinks, and then that turns into, like, you're robbing banks, and then that turns into she's learning the signature of your grandmother so you can forge checks. I mean, just one thing snowballs into another. Just lots of activities. That's what I'm talking about. Well, that's the kind of date that Patrick went on his first date with a girl named Tanya, but now she's not calling him back, and it gets even crazier than anything I just said, I think.
What?
Yeah.
No.
What's up, Patrick? How are you?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Nothing like that happened, but
Are you sure you're not wanted in 5 states?
I am definitely sure of that.
Oh, that's what all criminals say.
Your email about your date sounded not that crazy, but it sounded like you guys did a lot of stuff.
It was, I would say, in my entire life, this is probably the greatest date I've ever had.
Whoa. I can't wait to hear what you guys did.
Well, you guys don't know yet how many dates he's had. You know what I mean, Patrick? Like, you
so
could have been on 2
sad.
dates, and then we'd be like, oh, so you had dinner and drinks. Okay. So, have you had a lot of good dates?
I've been on plenty of dates.
Okay, see? Where did you meet this dream girl that you went on this crazy date with?
I met her on a dating app,
Okay.
but we had talked and we had planned to go rock climbing.
Oh, that's sweet. And are you a rock climber?
I'm athletic. I wouldn't say I'm like a rock, but I'm outdoorsy, I guess we'd have to say.
Cool.
All right. So that's pretty sweet.
Yeah. You know, we had a good time. We went rock climbing, and then that escalated into we went to this little cafe and had some food.
Mm-hmm.
And we just had like a really good vibe, good connection.
Mm-hmm.
We started walking around. We went to this park, and we actually, as crazy as this sounds, we had like a cartoon drawing, like a characterist drawing of us.
Like a caricature dude at the park?
Yeah, like the guy drew pictures of our faces like on a park bench.
Doesn't sound that crazy, really, Patrick, but it is cool and fun.
But it was our first date. Like, usually don't do that kind of stuff on your first date. It just kind of flowed. Like, everything just flowed.
That's true.
I guess.
You know, and I don't know why you want to call her back. I mean, any girl that's willing to have her caricature drawn on her first date, I don't know, man.
Pretty fast.
Yeah.
But it's not really the point of, like, the crazy things we did, but it's just, like, I was almost giddy. Like, I had butterflies in my stomach. I was, like, I felt really good. Like, it was a good day. Like, I was having fun.
And I will back you on the caricature thing because, like, that's something that's like a memento from your first date. Like, she's thinking she wants to remember this, and I assume that's why you guys sat down and did that together.
So if you guys do get her on the phone, like, don't say anything about the caricature because I, like, have it on my fridge and I look at it every day.
Yeah. I'll be sure to not mention that, Patrick.
That's cute. Patrick,
I guess,
cute. That's cute.
And a caricature is a big thing to get drawn on a first date because they always highlight your worst feature. And you don't want the other person to be like, oh, yeah, they do have a gigantic nose.
Yeah.
So did it end at the park in the drawing?
No, it didn't end. We went back to my place and just kind of chilled and hung out. And she actually, like, stayed over.
Oh, she did? Okay.
Wow.
I mean,
okay.
and did she stay in the same room as you, Patrick?
She may have, yeah.
All right.
Oh, you slide on.
Yeah. So you guys basically spent the whole day and night together.
Yeah, so I was, like, giddy, and I couldn't sleep. So I woke up in the middle of the night, and I was just, like, looking at my emails, and, like, this the last-minute travel deal came up.
Mm-hmm.
So I woke her up and was like, I'm going to book a trip to Mexico for next weekend, like the following weekend.
Wow.
Like just for you, or you invited her too?
No.
Like were you just like giving her that
No,
information?
I invited her.
Oh, okay. You were asking if she wanted to do that though.
I mean, come on. Of course I invited her. It wasn't for me.
Okay, I don't know. The way you said it just sounded like, hey, I'm booking a trip to Mexico, just so you know. All right, go back to sleep.
Well,
That's crazy. And she said yes?
She said yes, so I booked it. I charged it on my card. I paid for everything. And then we kept texting back and forth during the week. I was trying to catch up on work because we were going to leave for a long weekend.
Yeah.
And so we had plans to meet at the airport at a certain time. And so I got there, checked everything. I was like waiting like 15 minutes.
Oh, my God.
Text her.
No.
What were you feeling?
Well, I had different kind of butterflies.
Yeah.
So I was waiting, and there was like last call to book the thing, and I was like, you know, she wasn't getting in touch with me. I didn't know if maybe she was on the plane. I got on the plane, and I went on the weekend trip by myself.
Oh, man, that
no.
sucks.
And you haven't heard from her at all?
I've called her. I've texted her. I've looked at my caricature on the refrigerator with a sad face now.
Oh,
And,
man.
Wow.
Do you think she maybe got, I mean, I don't know. Did she get freaked out? Like it was too much commitment too fast?
maybe she got nervous. I'm hoping you guys can find out for me so I can kind of figure out what I did wrong.
Yeah, you'd think that she could at least tell you, like, hey, the Mexico thing is kind of making me nervous, instead of just ditching you at the airport.
But maybe she felt really guilty because he had paid for it all and she didn't know how to tell him.
That's why I got in contact with you guys, and I'm hoping you guys can help me.
Me too. I hope this turns out to be a love story.
I just want to know why she ditched him at the airport. I don't really care what kind of story we get. But we will play a song and then come back and call her and get your second date update. All right, Patrick?
Thank you.
Yeah, man, hold on.
Moving 92.5. Brooke and Jubal in the mornings. Second date update.
All right, before we get into the second part of today's second date update, there's one very useful piece of information that I need to know. Patrick, you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Did you at least have fun in Mexico by yourself?
Oh, sad Patrick.
Good question.
You know what? It was pretty sad because it was like a couples thing. Like that was part of the thing. It was like a couples. I just kind of stayed in my room and looked at my caricature photo.
Oh, Patrick.
Dude, you could have taken that caricature photo with you, wrapped it in some waterproof stuff, taken it on one of those banana rides or some parasailing with it.
The only people that were single were like the cleaning people and like the grounds people.
Oh, gosh, Patrick.
You had options then.
No.
Yeah, a 62-year-old lady that made my bed was kind of hot. Yeah, no thanks.
Well, there you go. You messed up. All right. If you're just tuning in for the second date update, Patrick is on the phone, and he met a girl named Tanya online. They had their first date, and they did a bunch of things. Rock climbing, walking around a park, getting a caricature done that he still has on his refrigerator. She actually stayed the night, and while she was staying there, he was so giddy that he booked them a trip to Mexico for the next weekend. Wow. She agreed to go, but then didn't show up at the airport, and now he's wondering why.
Oh, my gosh. How are you feeling right now? Because that's an insane story.
I'm a little nervous and excited, if that makes sense. I guess I want to find out what the hell happened, but I also, I don't know. I'm afraid like she's going to say I was ugly or something. I don't know.
Okay,
She did all that with you, and then she was like, wait a second. I don't want to spend the weekend in Mexico with this guy. He's ugly.
You never know, man. You know, women, they're crazy.
Yeah, that's it, Patrick. She thought you were bad looking. Oh, my gosh.
I'm going to dial her phone number right now. Here we go.
Okay.
Hello,
Hi, can I speak to Tanya, please?
this is.
Hey, Tanya, how are you? This is Jubal from Brooke and Jubal in the morning.
Hi, I'm good.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. I was worried about you.
Okay. Who are you again?
My name is Jubal, and I host a radio show called Brooke and Jubal in the morning. There's 3 of us on the phone right now. There's me, there's Brooke,
Hey, how
there's
you doing?
Jose.
Hey.
Okay. Hi, everyone.
Hi,
Okay.
Tanya. And we have been so worried about you.
Why?
Well, because you missed a flight recently, and that's a big thing we do on our show. We have like a segment where it's like, did you miss your flight recently? We track people down and try to figure out why they missed their flight. It's kind of crazy.
so bad.
We're a kooky morning show.
What?
Yeah. So you were supposed to take a flight recently with a dude named Patrick to Mexico, and you just didn't show up.
How do you know that?
Know everything.
Just
And
tell
also, he emailed us.
Yeah, there you go.
Patrick told us about your first date and said that you guys had planned a trip to Mexico for the next weekend, but you left him at the airport.
Oh my God.
And if, I mean, that's a lot. Like, the whole story is pretty crazy. So maybe you were just feeling overwhelmed and you didn't know how to tell him. That's what I'm hoping for.
It just was just a really weird thing that happened with the airport, and it was just really weird.
You're on the no-fly list.
She got detained.
It's kind of really embarrassing. It's a mistake, an embarrassing mistake, and I just kind of leave it at that.
You
Wait.
peed your pants in the security line because you were scared.
What? Where do you come up with
That
this?
happens to me all the time.
That is so
It is
weird.
embarrassing, but it's okay.
I believe that.
No, that's not
They
it.
asked you to go through the security machine, and you took off your clothes and asked for a strip
Oh
search
my
instead.
God. Stop guessing.
It can be embarrassing, but I've done it too.
No, it's just, listen, it's 100% me. It had nothing to do with Patrick at all.
But what could be
Really?
so embarrassing that you spend this amazing date with someone, agree to go on a long weekend to Mexico,
Oh my god.
and then ditch out of it all and like leave him high and dry?
It just, I went to the airport. I was very excited to go on this trip, and
You did.
yes,
Oh.
yes, I went to the airport. I went and I checked in, had my stuff ready to go, and they asked for my passport, and I said, why? I mean, I have, my driver's license. And they're like, no, you need a passport. And I was like, why? I'm just going to Mexico. And they were like, yeah, you need a passport. And I truly had no idea that you need a passport to get into Mexico and Canada. Like,
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
Very
I
important.
really know. I seriously thought it's all the same continent. Like,
Welcome to the last 15 years of the world.
Oh, no.
So you forgot your passport.
no, I didn't forget it. I don't have one. I don't travel a lot. So this was,
Oh.
I didn't know. I seriously did not know. And I was mortified standing there, and I don't have a passport, and I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to tell Patrick that, how absolutely idiotic I felt. So
Oh. I do know how you can tell him, Tanya. I really do know how you can tell him.
how is he even going to believe me? I've been trying to figure it out, and I don't even know what to say.
Well, you kind of already did, because he's actually on the other line listening and wants to talk to you.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm on the phone.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. This is so embarrassing.
Yeah, it's very embarrassing that you wouldn't call somebody and have the respect to at least let me know what's going on.
Whoa.
Oh,
Oh,
Patrick.
you're kind of mad, aren't you, Patrick?
Coming hot.
Patrick, I am so sorry. I was so embarrassed in that moment, and I literally had no idea what to do, what to say. I felt so stupid that
Yeah,
I didn't know this.
So, I mean, you could have told me. You didn't have to just blow me off. It's kind of crazy that you wouldn't even call or let me know. And then I went by myself.
I
To a
know.
couple's weekend by myself.
I know.
It's basically the worst trip to Mexico that I've ever taken. And I was there one time during El Nino.
Wow. Oh, God.
Damn, Tanya, you're worse than El Nino.
There's a hurricane.
I will say, Tanya, it is pretty weird that you were that embarrassed by a passport snafu.
Listen, I understand that it sounds crazy. I don't travel a lot. I don't know these things. I had no reason to know these things. And Patrick, the entire weekend that you were gone, knowing that you were there, I was drinking margaritas, sitting at home, thinking about you the entire time.
Oh.
Well, it was good that you were thinking about me. All you had to do is send one text, make one phone call. That's it.
Whoa.
I am apologizing. I have taken 100% of the blame for this. If you were listening, as you were supposedly listening while I was talking this entire time to a bunch of radio DJs, I said that I would take 100% fault for this. I am sorry.
So, okay, I hear your apology on that, but now we have a whole other issue. I mean, what are you, 12 years old? You don't have a passport? You don't travel? I mean,
Wait, that's still
I
an issue.
haven't had a reason to have one, Patrick. I didn't know.
kids, babies come out of the wombs and get passports and travel all over. Your parents must have kept you locked in your basement.
You know what?
What?
This right here is why I didn't tell you, okay? This is why I had no idea how to tell you, because I was worried that you were going to sit here and berate me for not knowing something. You could just be really nice and be a good guy.
It's not a matter of not knowing something. It's a matter of just having a brain to figure out.
Whoa.
Patrick, we know you're angry, but I thought you really liked this girl, dude.
I did, but she doesn't have a passport. What kind of person doesn't have a passport?
There's lots of people that don't have passports.
No, there's not. I don't know anybody. Do you know anybody? I don't know anybody who doesn't have a passport.
Mine's almost expired. I might not have one soon.
Mine just expired, actually, so I technically don't have one either.
I have one, so.
You know, to get a passport, you go to the post office and take a picture and just mail it out, and they send it back to you. It's not rocket science by any means.
Oh, man.
You know, I know what I'm supposed to do now. I can go and get one, and we can go on a trip together. We can do it the right way this time.
All right,
there we
well,
go.
Tanya, would you like to go out with Patrick
Wow.
on a second date? We can do dinner. We'll pay for dinner. If you guys want to go on a trip, that's on you. But if you get a passport, you'd be willing to go out with Patrick again.
Yes, it was my mistake. I would like to go on another date with Patrick.
Wow, I'm impressed. I mean, he said some mean things, so
He's upset.
Patrick, do you want to go out with Tanya again?
I mean, somebody that can't call you back and is not responsive. And what person, again, does not have a passport? I would never go out with her again.
what?
Oh.
After she was your dream girl and you were obsessed with her, the passport's the breaking point.
My dream girl is gorgeous, nice, beautiful smile. And you know what? She has a passport.
Okay. All right, Patrick, we found your deal breaker, I guess. So
my God.
You know what?
Uh,
Just forget the whole thing. Forget that I even said yes. You are not the person I thought you were. You're crazy.
I may be crazy, but at least I have a passport.
he does have a point. Important PSA today for the second date update. Everybody, make sure you go get your passport, everybody.
Oh my God, seriously.
Brooke and Jubal in the morning.
Text in at 78592 says Patrick is by far the biggest idiot you've ever had on the show. It's Brooke and Jubal in the morning.
A bold
Not
statement.
according to Patrick. If you missed today's second date update, Patrick wanted to call Tanya. They went out on a date. He liked her so much that he actually booked a trip to Mexico for the two of them on a whim to try to be spontaneous. And he was all about her. He's like, I have a caricature drawing of her, and I look at it all the time, and she's amazing, and blah, blah, blah. And then we got her on the phone, and she said that the reason she ditched him at the airport and he had to go to Mexico by himself was because she got there and she didn't realize you needed a passport to go to Mexico.
Yeah.
And she was embarrassed by that.
And of course,
yeah.
she'd be embarrassed.
Right, but so embarrassed that you wouldn't call and tell him?
I don't
Yeah.
know.
That's kind of weird. She said she felt so embarrassed that she didn't have a passport and didn't know that you needed a passport that she just didn't want to talk to him. But the worst part about it was that Patrick sort of freaked out at the fact that she doesn't have a passport.
Yeah, what?
All I can think is maybe he's just still really angry about having to go on a couple's retreat to Mexico by himself, and he's just blaming it on that.
I don't know. It sounded like he seriously thinks anybody without a passport, it's like a character flaw for him. Like there's
Yeah.
something wrong with you
But
if
some
you don't have a
people-
passport.
Some people don't need passports. I mean, I don't think I got a passport till I was in my 20s. Like,
Oh, are you serious?
well, okay,
gross.
Get out of the
that's to me
studio.
now.
Jeez,
Yeah.
leave.
How do we hire him?
Gross. Yeah, I know. Seriously.
I'm just
It's amazing what deal breakers people have. Like, it sounds like for Patrick, a deal breaker for him is if somebody doesn't have a passport.
You know what's going to happen is that Patrick's passport is going to expire at some point, and he's not going to realize it, and he's going to, because that's how karma works. And he's going to show up to
Yeah.
the airport, and they're going to be like, "Yeah, sir, you can't go on your trip. This is an expired passport."
And hopefully it'll be with a girl that he really likes. And then she's like, dude, you let your passport expire? You don't have a passport now? Gross.
Wow.
Remember, if